Well, folks, now I have seen everything. Marty Markowitz, our beloved ex-Borough President, has decided that retirement is way too stressful and volunteered to serve as a maitre'd at Brooklyn Heights' own Noodle Pudding. Needless to say, his skill at schmoozing makes him a perfect greeter to those seeking some good Italian food.
Great turnout. It's going to be a success because Marty, to begin with, and I'm not saying because he's on my side, he's a hard worker. He would not be able to get where he is if he wasn't a hard working person. And he is going to be humbling himself tonight.
So you're going to work him hard tonight. You're not going to make him wash dishes though, right?
He has, well, but he has promised that if somebody drops a fork, he's going to pick it up.
Oh, he's not going to delegate that, right?
No.
That's your job.
He's going to be as a blue collar as anyone could be, as any blue collar.
In the days, cheap apartments were almost impossible to find in Manhattan, so I had to move to Brooklyn.
Now you remember those days.
The world has changed altogether. Right. That was in 1947. Well, there's no question that today Brooklyn is the destination of choice, especially for young professionals and creatives that dream about starting or advancing their lives and families. And Brooklyn's the place to live, and there's no question. The proof of it is, of all 5 boroughs in 2013 and 14 and 12, that the fastest growing borough in New York City is Brooklyn. And there's a reason for that, because it's really become a magnet for young creatives and professionals. So we're very excited about it. Tourism is significantly increased. Even from when I was Borough President, and I only left about 7 months ago. But
you set the groundwork, though. Brooklyn Bridge Park?
Well, numbers. Well, my role in Brooklyn Bridge Park was very modest compared to a lot of those that came before me. But I was thrilled to have a little role in it and to help fund some of it.
Barclays?
All I
you had a lot to do with that.
That I had something to do with for sure.
Yep.
But the bottom line is that today tourists are coming here as their first choice, or after they visit Midtown and Broadway, then they want to come to Brooklyn. And it's just, a couple months ago I was telling a story which is true. I saw the 2 double-decker buses full of Japanese tourists on Kent Avenue with the tour guides with the numbers, and everyone's got a color on them. I'm amazed. I just stood back and watched in amazement as tourists are going up and down Kent Avenue.
Well, talking about tourists, what about the time that you were in Europe and you went into a department store?
There's no question. We went into a store. It was in Vienna, and in the store window outside caught my wife's eye. It was 3 mannequins, wool hats, because it was during the cooler months. One hat said London, one wool cap said Paris, and the third one said Brooklyn. And so my wife happened to like the way the hat looked. It was a little glittering. So we went into the store, spoke to the saleswoman, brought us in the section, and there were all the hats on the tables piled up for London and Paris, not one for Brooklyn. So we asked, where's the Brooklyn hat? She said, as soon as they come in, that's as fast as they fly out. So of course my wife already invested the time walking into the store, so we bought the hat on the mannequin. But it's just an example of where Brooklyn is at today in the world. Whether it's Brooklyn named restaurants, bars throughout the world.
Even our own anthem, right?
There's Brooklyn. There's no question that Brooklyn has caught the imagination of folks around the world, and for good reason. And listen, as good as we're doing, we still have challenges big time. East New York and Brownsville and neighborhoods, unemployment rates, and certainly we're all concerned about quality education and proper respect. And there's a whole host of issues, that affordable housing, that we have great challenges. But the good news is that Brooklyn is well on its road to meeting its fulfillment of everything that it promised when I was a boy, and that is that Brooklyn was a place where legends are made and dreams come true. And it's happening for young people today and many more in the days to come.
Okay, well, we're at Noodle Pudding today,
yes,
or tonight.
One of my favorite restaurants.
And you're a maitre'd.
I am a maitre'd.
Can you give us the background for that?
Well, I must tell you, just an aside, my father, who died in 1954, he was about 35, was a full-time waiter in a kosher delicatessen by the name of Sid's on Empire Boulevard in Crown Heights. Now here I am so many years later, almost revisiting what my dad did for a living. But came up with this idea of a sale last week, and there was a gentleman here that owns Tango in Brooklyn Heights on Montague Street.
Michael.
And he was volunteering as to help Tony, because Tony's a little understaffed because of summer vacations. So he couldn't make it this week. So that's when it rang on me. I said, wow, how about if I offer that I'll be the maître d', whatever day he wants, whatever evening he wants, and then use it in a positive way for promotion of tourism for Brooklyn and for Staten Island, the Bronx and Queens, because I plan to go to restaurants, one in each borough, to help promote tourism, whether it's within the borough, among the boroughs, and the world, to visit the unique attractions that each of the boroughs richly present. And Brooklyn, of course, obviously has so much of it, but I must tell you, I visit Queens, and increasingly I learn about the Bronx, and of course Staten Island. I know because I consider Staten Island a suburb of Brooklyn, because more than half the
We're America's first suburb here, right?
But half America, the first suburb as far as Brooklyn Heights. Right. But I have to tell you, and Brooklyn itself, but I have to tell you that Staten Island, half of Staten Island comes from Brooklyn anyway. But whatever, each of the boroughs has something so unique. So if you really want a great experience in your life, after you've done all the touristy things, then you come to the real New York, which I would tell you are the boroughs beyond Manhattan. Somebody my height, come on, that doesn't happen every day.
Now let's see Marty in action.
Now let me escort you to your table. Calorie free. No good, you're getting me on that.
Surprised you're not on Facebook yet. Take a picture with Marty.
Remember, Marty will have light. Remember, we'll turn to Ember. Learning together, we have made friends. And last our whole life should be a little different. Our alma mater. This is all about pushing tourism in the boroughs.
Well, it looks like Marty's settling into his new position and starting to get comfortable.
Tell me what you like. Be over there or
Marty, you were born for this position. Now I dropped by 9:45. That's 5 hours of work for Marty, and he's still going strong. I, for one, am impressed.
9:45, I'm shocked. 9:45. I thought you'd be home in bed.